Irving Man. Irving Man. As we open today, a hurricane is slamming the city. One person thinks that's good. It means there's nobody around to see him steal that diamond.
Hiho to inu to fuku ningen.
The treasure, the dog, and the body double. Probably not a good idea to get those mixed up. Cut to the Nakayama taxi garage. That's something I'm learning. Most Americans would look at this and pronounce it Nakayama, but four-syllable words like this put the accent on the second syllable, not the third, so Nakayama. Spiderman's last name is Yamashiro in American pronunciation, and if you listen especially when the Amazoness says it, it's Yamashiro. So if it sounds like I'm talking funny, I'm just talking like the show does. And besides, now I know 3 words in Japanese: Nakayama, proper name, Yamashiro, proper name, and gokiburi, cockroach. I go for the most useful ones first.
理科に算数に国語。よし、これでよしと。じゃんじゃん。
That's Nobuyuki. The gentleman is his grandfather, though later on we'll learn that he actually adopted Nobuyuki from an orphanage. John is the dog.
じゃん。よしよし。
信之、早く食べないと学校に遅れるよ。
分かってるよ。
I want that puppy. What an adorable little guy. But I'm doing fine with my own dog, the one in my YouTube banner. His name is Zim, after Invader Zim. We have another one named Marv the Martian. There's a reason why I call this place a zoo.
車に気をつけてな。
はい。行ってきます。じいちゃん行ってきます。
You can tell he dotes on that boy. Everything he does is for the child's sake. It's never a good thing when she laughs like that. She says, Phantom 107, you've done a good job of hiding your identity, but we know who you are.
エジプトの星はどうしました？
何？
ないとは言わせない。
お前は一体。
騒ぐと命をもらいます。
She demands that he tell her where he hid the diamond, then bashes him over the head so he can't answer. The Amazoness is a very confusing person. At headquarters, she has him hanging by his wrists, and she's beating him with what appears to be a riding crop. Meanwhile, Professor Monster has a new pet.
おお、かわいいカニじゃ。また必殺のマシンメブが作れ。
エジプトの星をどこに隠した？わしは知らん。そんなものは。しぶといじじめ。苦しい。話し組み。まだ言わないか。
おお、痛い痛い。乱暴なことはせのことじゃ。
That hurt? He's wearing thick gloves, and that thing is a basic little shore crab. They're harmless. My whole family has played with them since they were toddlers. You can see that the claws are maybe a centimeter long and not especially pointy. That confirms it. Professor Monster is a wuss. Nakayama actually stole the diamond 5 years ago. The Amazoness assures him that the Iron Cross Army has the resources to find out who he was and track him down. He asks for a little more time to think.
お兄ちゃんお兄ちゃんお兄ちゃんこんにちは。
やあ、また遊びに来たの？
うん。いつ見てもかっこいいな。
信之君、公園に乗ってみたいと言っていたね。
乗ってもいいの？
ああ。
We saw by the posters and such in Nobuyuki's room that he's a big fan of Takia, and getting to ride on the bike with him is a treat like no other. How convenient that he was already wearing a helmet. This is the only time they'll actually come in contact, but we're establishing that Spider-Man knows who this boy is and is taking a special interest in his well-being. That's good because his grandfather isn't doing so well. On the other hand, I may be underestimating him. I suppose it makes sense. He was a successful burglar who stole a world-famous gem. It makes sense that he'd know how to get out of ropes like that when nobody's looking. He finds a way to the outside. Now, if he can just figure out where he is, he might get away. He's somewhere on a rocky coast. He's moving like he recognizes it, so that's good. Monster made that crab into a machine bem that sprays soap suds? That stuff must have something extra because it's causing Nakayama pain. Even so, he has an easy time getting out of range of its sprayer, I guess. Really? Killing him means you end up with nothing. As he's dying, the Amazoness demands he tell her where he hid the diamond. He says, no, it was my last job and I did it to take care of my grandson. Don't tell her about him, you idiot! What do you think she's gonna do next?
エジプトの星の言うダイヤモンドをどこへ隠した？聞いているはずだ！
そんなの知るか！あ、やめてくれ！はい。
こいつを言わないか！
知らないよ、そんなの！あ！
Oh, she's gonna wish she hadn't done that. You don't hit a child while Spider-Man is around. By the way, Spider-Man is around. The Amazoness is supposed to be this super formidable enemy, yet she's the first to run away and leave Spider-Man to the Birdmen, even though she knows they're nothing but sparring practice for him. I guess she got the impression that the best generals lead from the rear, especially when you're advancing to the rear. When he's done, he's made that humanish blob into a perfect double of Nakayama.
Dirty fool, old man.
Especially pulling it on a child. But we know the Iron Cross Army's goal is to wipe out humanity completely, so they're starting small, I guess.
もしもし？あ、おじいちゃん？
スパイダー感覚に感知。信之君が危ない。
Takia has been camped out on that hill where he can keep an eye on Nobuyuki. Good thing he did, because his spider sense is telling him that something is very wrong.
お前に頼みがあるんだ。
The door opened and closed by itself in 1978.
That's unusual!
I hate seeing a dog tied up. If you don't have a fence, train the dog to live inside. This right here is part of the reason I don't like it. With enough effort, your average dog can slip his collar like that. John is just toddling down the street. We're not sure where he thinks he's going.
John.
But apparently he hurt his paw somehow. Good thing Spiderman was the one who found him, for more than one reason.
Spiderman, おじいちゃんはアラミネ海岸にいるそうです。
When Nobuyuki told John he needed a favor, that was what he meant. Hold a note for Spiderman. Now that he knows where the boy is going, he'll get there himself just a couple of minutes after Nobuyuki does, since GP7 is a lot faster than your average taxi.
おじいちゃん、
お、信行！
おじいちゃん、
信行！
おじいちゃん、おじいちゃん心配したよ。
信行、お前に何にも言わずに留守をして許しておくれ。そうしないとわしは殺されそうだったんだ。
いいんだよ、おじいちゃんが無事なら。
信行、ありがとう。それとお前に大事な宝を預けたね。
Nobuyuki has no idea what he's talking about, but his grandfather did give him something special for his birthday last year.
おめでとう。信行、これはおじいちゃんのプレゼントだよ。
僕に？
わしが死んでからもお前の生活だけは守れるようにしておくからね。この中には大事な宝のありかを記した地図が入ってるんだよ。
That amulet has a map to the diamond, not the diamond itself. That explains a few things. Fake Nakayama says, "Do you still have it?" Well, yeah, you told him to take good care of it, so it makes sense that he wears it everywhere he goes, such as here.
おじいちゃん、おじいちゃん、おじいちゃん。
I'm always puzzled how a bunch of people can sneak up on someone like that right out in the open and not even trying to be sneaky. Nobuyuki is angry. That was a cruel deception to pull on a child, just about the meanest possible way to let him know his grandfather is dead.
本当のおじいちゃん、どこへやった？
お前の祖父はあの崖から落ちて死んだわ。
ちくしょう。
He wants revenge and he has the anger and the drive. Too bad he doesn't have the size. But he does. That means it's theme song fight time. The spider effects continue to amaze me. You believe he's climbing that rock face and then staying put and turning around to face the bad guys. These are still the best practical Spider-Man effects I've ever seen.
スパイダーストリングス
Okay, friends, I need to explain something. You might have noticed that I do a lot of describing things that just happened. I do that because I learned that I have a blind subscriber. I asked them what I could do to make the experience better for them, and that was the answer. Rather than say, and that, say, and the thing, or whatever. With English language shows, the dialogue can often do the job for me. Not this show. Neither they nor I speak Japanese, and the subtitles don't help them. So I tried to. I explain that because I'm going to be doing a lot of it over the next minute or so. I appreciate you helping me accommodate one of your fellow fans. It's time for the machine bem to appear. His soap dispenser doesn't seem to affect Spider-Man. What's she doing in the middle of a fight? Oh, I see. She's gloating because she has the amulet and he doesn't. So there. But he has spider string and now he has the amulet and she doesn't. So there. Wow, the amulet was exactly the same size as his soap sprayer, and it backed it up so much that it and the amulet exploded. How much pressure was in that thing? Let's move along to the big fight. Since our machine bem was made from a crab, it makes sense that his name is Ganima, which means crab. Oh, marveler!
Leopardo! Sword Kicker!
Professor Monster uses tons of his resources to build one of these things, and Spider-Man blows it up. Monster spends more resources building another one, and Spider-Man blows it up. Professor Monster definitely has more money than sense.
エジプトの星のありかはもう誰にもわからない。
That is definitely not an American ending. The diamond is probably lost forever because the only key to its location went up in smoke. Spider-Man has more important things on his mind. Nobuyuki just asked him why the Iron Cross Army killed his grandfather. Spider-Man is wondering what to tell him. Your grandfather was a professional thief until he adopted you and gave it up.
鉄樹士団は君のおじいちゃんがダイヤを持っていると誤解したんだ。
じゃあおじいちゃんはダイヤモンドなんかと関係なかったの？
そうだよ。あのお守り袋の大事な宝も君を守るためのおまじないだったんだ。君のおじいちゃんは君が生まれる前からタクシーの運転手をしていたんだよ。真面目でよく働く人だったらしい。
本当？
ああ。
Essentially, your grandfather was a good man and the Iron Cross Army mistook him for someone else. And he was a good man when it counted. He stole the diamond, adopted Nobuyuki, and took up taxi driving all around the same time, which means he gave up burglary to become a better man for his grandson. Anybody who's ever been in a race knows it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Nakayama finished well. That's all the child needs to know for now. Speaking of things we need to know, why was the Amazoness after this particular diamond? She has to know that sickly yellow color is going to clash with the rest of her outfit. Cut to the Nakayama I now know 3 words and I can make a 3 for crying out loud. Nokobori just axed. The sense is telling them